should you upload your music to SoundCloud in 2023? I'm going to give you a short answer and a long answer because I hate wasting people's time. Short answer, yes. SoundCloud is an unbelievable platform. I might as well say this video is not sponsored by them. I'm not getting any money from them or anything. It is an unbelievable platform. It's a huge staple in the music community, especially with the genres of EDM and hip hop, for example. It's huge. However, there is definitely an asterisk on that, yes, because the bigger question then comes up, and that is regarding money. Is SoundCloud worth the money? Now, taking a step back, in case you didn't know, you can create a free SoundCloud account, and I believe right now it has changed over the years. You can upload a maximum of 2 hours of music. After that, you then have to start paying for a SoundCloud membership. So if you're just starting out, I mean, hey, you might as well upload on SoundCloud. It is literally free. You get your music out there, and you never know what could happen. The bigger question comes up, and here's where things get very dicey, and this may be even an unpopular opinion, is the payment and the membership. So for me right now, I pay $16 a month to upload my music on SoundCloud. I also want to stress, I get nothing from uploading. I don't get any money. I don't get any monetization or whatever. I do know SoundCloud has monetization and ads. It's not worth it. I just gotta be blunt. If you're gonna upload on SoundCloud and you're gonna spend that money, don't put ads on it. In addition, this is something I do suggest as well. I've already done a video about this. I do suggest having your music be free, and this is something I am gonna touch upon a little bit later in this video, but in this day and age, no one really buys music as much anymore. They do, don't get me wrong, but not as much as before. We're really now living in like the streaming type era of music, and the way people digest music and listen to music is primarily streaming. So by having your music be free, that means someone can quickly download it, put it in their DJ library if they want to DJ it out live, or in most cases, just download it, listen to it in the car with their AirPods or headphones, however they listen to music. So I will say that, make sure music is free. But the bigger question comes up, let's say you are a beginning musician. Let's say you upload a bunch of music, and now you're at that point where you've used over 2 hours of your time on SoundCloud. And let's say if you're doing mixes or live performances or whatever, you can quickly fly through that. Let's say that happens. Then you have to ask yourself the question, is SoundCloud worth that extra $16 a month? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. This is more of like a fireside chat style video, as you can tell, where it's like not crazy edited video, just kind of me talking off the cusp, so to speak. And I will say this, looking at SoundCloud, which is interesting, the last time I checked, it's $12 a month. So I don't know why I'm getting charged $16. I don't know if that's like a weird lag from back in the day where it used to be $16 and they dropped the price. Or I don't know, maybe there's like different tiers. So it might be $12 or $16 a month, I don't know. But here's what's kind of interesting. I think especially for the past few years here in 2023 and moving forward is this. DistroKid, I've done a bunch of videos about them. It's $20 a year, not a month, but a year for unlimited uploads. And as well, I want to say this too, back in the day, it used to be an extra $1 per song if you wanted to be on Shazam or iPhone Siri. I used to kind of include that in my DistroKid membership, being like, all right, well, I have to get it. Shazam, super useful. iPhone Siri, I feel like not as much, but Shazam, you have to be on it. Now, if you release your music on Apple Music, which it automatically is done via DistroKid, you don't really have to worry about pretty much any extra money whatsoever, right? It's only $20 a year. And I know it sounds kind of stupid to say, but I do want to mention it. You're also going to get money back, right? Like if people stream your music, download it. There's a million platforms that DistroKid releases under, not a million, but like, I don't know, like hundreds or whatever that it releases under, so you can get money, publicity, promotion, blah, 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 from all of that. So that $20 a year is an incredible investment to then get a bunch of money back from your music. For me personally, and I've said this before, I have the Musicians Plus account, which is $36 a year, and I get unlimited uploads, of course, but in addition, I get a custom label name. I do that just because if you release it normally under DistroKid, the label is DistroKid. To me, I just find that kind of tacky, no offense to DistroKid, so I like making my own custom label name. But even still, even if let's say you're starting right at the basics, $20 a year is such a small amount to have your music be everywhere and you're making money from it. Compared to SoundCloud, which is, like, say, $12 to $16 a month, and you get no money from that. So for a beginning musician, and I remember what it's like, starting out in music, I was the definition of a starving artist, literally and figuratively. Like, I stopped eating. I went through this huge, I never really talked about this in a lot of videos, but like, I was hustling aggressively, putting all my money into everything. And I remember at that time, $12 or $16 extra a month. If you do the math out, it's anywhere between, $150 and $200 a year extra. That was a lot of money at the time. I genuinely had to really think about, do I want to spend $12 or $16 a month extra towards SoundCloud? Now, back in the day when I first started making music, this is in 2012, and I know this is random, but it does very much so apply to this, is back in the day, in about 2012, again, when I started making music, SoundCloud was the platform. It was like the glory days, in my opinion, of SoundCloud. There wasn't any of the copyright BS that exists now. I will say it did go through this huge copyright phase in about 2015. I feel like it's gotten a lot better now. So kind of went this huge arc of not being bad, then got really bad, and then now it's kind of okay. But everyone's on SoundCloud. And I feel like that when I was uploading my music, I was getting a lot of hits. I was getting a lot of comments. Like, basically, in my opinion, it was the glory days. And the main reason why is around 2012, when SoundCloud really started to get like a lot of steam, especially with EDM blowing up, the big thing is people traditionally only bought music. The only way you could really listen to music, years ago, is if you buy it, maybe if you stumble upon it on the radio. I remember Pandora was really the first like streaming platform where you're like, wow, I can just click a button and listen to all this music for free, and the only difference is I get ads, right? Kind of like listening to the radio. However, with SoundCloud, you can individually target a song and stream it. Kind of simple to say now, but back in the day, that was revolutionary. The only other way you could really stream a song on demand, especially if you want to pick like an individual specific song, was really on YouTube. And that is a very tricky game, but most people didn't say, and this has changed over the years, but back in the day, most people weren't like, oh, I'm going to go on YouTube to listen to, I don't know, Skrillex, for example. Everyone just went to SoundCloud. It was an on-demand streaming platform, like I said, not compared to Pandora, where you just listen to music in general. You could individually target a song. I think that's why SoundCloud was so popular way back when. Fast forward now to 10 or 11 years later, it's not that weird now to have on-demand streaming services where you can individually target a song. In addition, no one really buys music anymore. So streaming now is so popular that, in my opinion, the biggest advantage of SoundCloud back in the day was the streaming part. Now, in my opinion, not so much. So again, now bringing it back to the relevance of this video, is that $12 or $16 extra a month worth it for SoundCloud? I'm going to be blunt, I don't know. If someone is in a very tight financial spot where they're like, look, Mark, I can be honest, and I've been there, where you're like, that extra $12 or $16 a month, I just don't know if I can afford it. I genuinely just don't know if I can put up that money. One, I'd say this. No matter what, at the end of the day, you're way better off having your music on SoundCloud than not. So I do want to stress that. I'm not saying that SoundCloud is bad in no way, shape, or form. Your music should be on SoundCloud more than not. I will say that. So let's say if you have to borrow money, if you have to do whatever you can, you have to charge it however you can. I do think, I've got to be blunt, that it's better to be on SoundCloud than not. However, if it's like a very tough financial spot, and let's say you're like, Mark, I'm just not going to lie, I just don't know if that money is there for me. I can't charge it, blah, blah, blah. Part of me feels like SoundCloud isn't as important now as before. Again, if this was in 2012, this video would be very different. But now, there's been so many times, and I'm not going to lie, that I release a song on DistroKid, I put it on YouTube, it goes on all the platforms, and then a month goes by, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I didn't post it on SoundCloud. I should upload this song on SoundCloud. There's probably a bunch of songs I forgot to do because I'm not gonna lie, at least for me, and other artists may disagree as well. And again, it could be an unpopular opinion. It's a very like anecdotal kind of perspective. But for me personally, I've not noticed as much success or as much kind of an ROI or return on my investment via SoundCloud compared to platforms like YouTube or Spotify or TikTok even. My music's done very well on TikTok and all the videos, Instagram Reels and everything. So I feel like now in this day and age, although yes, SoundCloud I think will always be kind of a unique staple in the music industry, I don't think it's as relevant. And let's say if you are a ton of money, I'd say, look, just start with DistroKid. It's $20 a year for unlimited uploads. Just do that. if you do the math out, I don't know what is like off the top of my head. What is that? It's like $1.50 or less per month, right? Very, very, very manageable. Just go on DistroKid because in addition to, not only is it useful, or excuse me, not only is it useful in terms of having music be everywhere, and not only is it cheaper than SoundCloud, but you're also making money from it, right? So yeah, maybe that initial 20 you have to shell out, but you might make, I don't know, in 1 month, like say, or in a few months on DistroKid, you can make $20, and then your first few months. I know it also depends on your level as an artist and everything. And you could easily make that money back, of course, and then some, right? I make way more money than just $36 a year I spend on DistroKid with my music. Of course, I have been releasing for a while. I've been marketing for a while. I've been in this game for a long time. So it's been a tremendous amount of work. I do everything independently. I don't have a manager. I don't have an agent. I do everything all on my own. But that brings up the question again of SoundCloud. And I'm not trying to bash SoundCloud. I know it gets a lot of hype, and in some cases not so much hype, depending on what side of the coin you're on. But overall, again, to be blunt, yes, your music is way better off being on SoundCloud than not. It never hurts. I want to stress it never hurts. But two, is it as worth it? Or is it as, I might even say, necessary as before? In my opinion, no. And if you're tight on money and that $12 or $16 a month seems like a little bit too much out of your reach, where you're like, I just don't know if I can do it, I got to be blunt. SoundCloud might not be as necessary, might not be as important. And I think going through a distributor like CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, whatever, way more important. And you're better off spending your money in that case than with SoundCloud.